Hello and welcome back to Perfectly Paired with Chef Jim May. Today we're going to make a springtime recipe that goes great with our wines. It is spring lamb with a spring pasta verdure. And the lamb I use, it comes from New Zealand. And the spring lamb, it's September through December is their spring. And that's when the lamb is birthed. 3 to 5 months later is when it's trimmed and brought to the States. So it's perfectly timed for our spring, and it's young enough that it's rich and it's got wonderful tender flavor. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to put this together, easy it is to trim, and then easy it is to eat with the wine. So this is a standard rack of lamb. It's a pound to a pound and a half. It's going to have 8 ribs, and what I'm figuring is 2 portions per ribs if they're big eaters. Otherwise, 3 ribs per person is probably enough. So when you get it, if it's not trimmed by the butcher, it's going to be Frenched by you. So what you want to do is take off some of this fat. One there, one here. And then you're going to, what's called Frenching it. And you're going to take your little knife, cut that off, just trim it to the bottom. And this is cleaning the bones. And what I'm also going to do is a little trick after taking off this meat is put a little incision in between the ribs so it's easier to carve. You just take off this stuff. Really easy, doesn't take much time. Take that off too. And again, I take off the fat because you can leave it on, but it's got a little bit of extra flavor that I like it a little leaner. So you just take off the silver skin. That's all you need to take off. You don't lose much there. But what I'm going to do is cut a little bit an incision between the ribs. That'll make it easier to carve when it's done. So this is how it's going to look. And from here, I'm going to add my herbs and my salt and pepper. And some herbs, I use a little bit of marjoram, a little bit of thyme, and a little bit of rosemary dried, and I mince it all up and I sprinkle it on. The herbalness goes very nicely with the wine, and it's not too much. We got that. So I've trimmed it up. I've put little notches in between the ribs, and I put on the herbs. I put a little bit of salt and pepper on it to my taste and to your taste. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in a preheated pan for about 2 to 3 minutes per side. Just a little bit, a couple tablespoons of oil on there. It'll only take 2 to 3 minutes aside. And then I'm going to put it on a foil-lined sheet pan and put it in a 400-degree oven. Now, up until we throw it in the oven, everything could be done ahead of time. And so it makes it easy to serve. All you have to do is pop it in the oven for 20 minutes, let it rest, carve it up, and you're good to go. So I've given this about 2 minutes on the meat side. I'm going to flip it over. It's beautifully browned. So it's on the rib side on the bottom. We're going to give it another 2 minutes, and then we'll take it to the next step. So while that's browning off, I'm going to check the wine, make sure it's just as delicious as the last time I had it. 777 is one of our single clones, one of our top tier wines, along with the Pommard, and it's really a wonderful food wine. Bright acid, bright fruit, great longevity. It's great with the rich meats and lamb, because it does have the acidity to cut through it. And I think it's going to be just absolutely delicious with it. So as soon as this finishes browning, I'm going to take it off out of the pan, put it onto a foil-lined sheet pan. And what I'm going to do, I've made a mixture of pistachio nuts, breadcrumbs, garlic, and butter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little paste out of the Dijon mustard, just to make it stick to it. So I'm just going to do a little painting on the meat side up, rib side down. So this is the mixture. It's just the regular breadcrumbs. You can do all this ahead of time. Breadcrumbs, pistachios, just chopped up. You don't need to process it, just chop it so it has some nice, and you want to press it into the meat. And you can get it a little bit on the other side. So once I have it coated, it's going to go in the oven for 20-25 minutes maximum, depends on the size of it. You want it pink, or at least that's when it actually shows the best. And we're going to have that when we serve it. It's delicious on its own with the Pinot from 777 Clone, but we have actually kind of bumped it up a little bit. We made an agrodolce, which is a little bit of blackberry, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of soy sauce, and it's agrodolce means kind of sweet and sour. And it's going to be just a little bit of a garnish afterwards that really kicks it up a notch. Anyway, you can do it the other way, but the blackberry agrodolce is something that no one else will ever have. This is going to go in the oven, 400 for 20-25 minutes. Agrodolce is Italian for kind of a sweet and tangy sauce. So I'm going to use a couple tablespoons of blackberry jam, a couple tablespoons of soy sauce, and eyeball it, and a tablespoon or two of the apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon, and a tablespoon or 2 of the wine you're going to have for dinner. So we're going to mix this all up. It's going to be in kind of a relish. Just a little bit of a sauce to go over it to amplify the flavors. Try this mix. Perfect. And if there's any lumps in there or clumps, you might want to just kind of whisk it together. It won't take much, but it kind of emulsifies it, makes it a little bit more of a sauce than anything else. So it's been in for about 17-20 minutes. It's reading about 130, 135, which is pink, and it's got nice, beautiful golden color to it. I'm gonna let it set for about 5-10 minutes so the juices stay inside. And then we'll carve it up and serve it. It's easy peasy. So this is, again, another dish a side dish that accompanies it very well because it's very spring-like. It can be made ahead of time, served at room temperature, or you can heat it up again. But it's gonna have green beans, roasted peppers. I've got some cauliflower in here. I've got all kinds of springtime vegetables, spinach. It's nice colors. It's gonna go great with the lamb. And it's a pretty tasty little springtime pasta. So this is rested for about 10 minutes. So it's still warm, but nice, gonna keep the juices in there. So we wanna take these, I made little incisions earlier, that'll go straight through here. Oopsie. And so it's gonna be beautifully pink inside. We're gonna, I said, if you got hungry guys, it's going to be 4 ribs. Otherwise, you can just start with 3 ribs. But I made a little incision earlier that made it easier to cut down. But lovely pink color. And like I said, nice, tender. The spring lamb as it gets older, it becomes muttony and it gets a little gamier and not so good. Depends what you like. So now that everything's done, ready to serve the guest, I'm going to make sure it tastes good. And I'm going to try the wine first. Which has got that lovely cherry berry, great acid, great structure, long finish. And then I'm going to try one of these little ribs with the agrodolce on there. And then wash it down with a little bit of this 777. Great pairing. A great pairing, really elegant. If you want to impress your friends, to have this for dinner. Again, it's a little easier than most people think, but the flavor and the combination of the two is perfectly paired. So here's to the good life. Enjoy it. Thank you so much.